All right. Good morning, cyber traders. Welcome back. Hopefully everybody is all psyched. Today's Wednesday. We're already a third day into the month. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all. Good to see you, Norm. Good to see you, Wayne, Daniel, Anthony. Good to see you, Don. Everybody. All right. Good. All the cyber group members. Everyone, welcome back here on Facebook and YouTube Live. Listen, just really quick. I want to make a quick announcement. Obviously, we got hit with a major storm here in the Northeast. And this is pretty crazy, but we got about 500,000 people on Long Island, and 350,000 of them are without power. Fortunately, I have power. Okay. Fortunately, there's only like one person. There's a couple of people in the room that have power and internet, but majority, we're about 70%, 80% down here on Long Island with all our employees because they don't have internet and don't have power. And what's crazy is that we might not even have power until like Friday, they said, or late Thursday, till tomorrow. And I just got a phone call regarding from my power company, PSFG, and they said that the reason why that they couldn't get us up. I mean, honestly, it wasn't really that bad. I mean, it was a tropical storm. It was like a hurricane. We did have like 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds at some points. But what they said was because of COVID, everybody in their companies working from home. So you're calling them up. Nobody's there answering. They can't answer the phones. It's very hard to. The switchboard is down, so they don't have a central location. So people that they're calling over from home, they lost power. So it just shows you, like, my God, like, you could have a catastrophe with a major power company. So anyway, I'm just fortunate. Josh doesn't have power. John doesn't have power. Danielle doesn't have power. A couple of the people in the room don't have power or internet. So please be patient with us here at Cyber Trading University. We still have the today's event going on because I have power. All right, but you know what? I won't be patient because they might shut mine off to help other people's to get up because they have to fix certain lines. So hopefully, we won't have an issue. But boat on the trail, I bet. No, well, Grant, no, actually, my boat is actually safe. Now that you bring it up, but my nephew's boat got destroyed. He had a Grady White, and the boat actually cracked. And those things don't crack. But it got beat up because he's a little bit more in the open bay. Mine's more in the canal, so I was kind of safe there. But, yeah, people got pretty beat up regarding about that. But listen, COVID also affected all of us regarding that too. So unbelievable. All right. So anyway, regarding about, I was safe actually. I actually went to go buy a new toy yesterday. Guys have to get their toys. So my kids were excited. I bought a bunch of quads. So they were pretty excited about that. My son woke my wife up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Mom, do you see Dad's? We got a new quad. He's like all excited. So that was my glory. But meanwhile, people are out on power. Anyway, so let's go back and talk about what's going on today and what happened yesterday. By the way, we had a couple of nice little moving stocks. I want to focus our attention regarding on this RIOT. Now, remember, blockchain had a major resistance level at $4. And we saw that happen, 2 days ago. We saw that stock, how it hit it and came right back down. We saw that big iceberg order out there. Now you can see it kind of broke through that iceberg order. So Riot's been a really, really nice little stock. Blockchain, keep an eye on it. It's obviously had a nice push this morning. You could trade a lot of shares of it. But guys, let me teach you a valuable lesson. You got to just take the money and run, okay? And this is what you learn from experience. You got to remember, day trading is a lot different than investing and swing trading. And I, it's funny. I talk to a lot of people, and they want to swing trade, and they kind of like options, and then and then they fall to day trading, and they're like, oh, I'm doing well in this. And I'm like, listen, be honest with me. Are you really making money? Because they're not. Because nobody likes to talk about the losers. Because what happens is swing trade ends up becoming an investment and then ends up blowing up your account. And you can't mix and match. Don't get cocky and don't get greedy in day trading. It's a tip of the day. Because listen, I'm guilty sometimes with it. Sometimes I get a little cocky and guilty. Listen, my pocket's a little bit different than some other people when it comes to trading. But I'm a professional. I've been doing this for a long time. and I learn something new every day. But I know some of you here, you're like, oh, man, it's going to break the new high. It's going to break it. Let somebody else break it. Let somebody else break that resistance levels. We saw it happen with ADT, all these stocks. We see how they happen over and over again. Let somebody else break it. You don't got to break it. You see the iceberg order. We see it out there. Let's go out there and just and enjoy it. All right, so let's go through some of the stocks that we got on the watch list. I'm going to check out that one. Norm says the MVIS pop. Let me bring that up really quick. MVIS. Yeah, that was a really nice pop right there. The only concern, Norm, regarding about this stock, remember, it is it's not a NASDAQ national. It's a penny stock. So even though it's not, people are like, well, it's $3. Doesn't matter. You could have a $10, $15 stock that could be on the pink sheets. So just be very careful. And with that happens, we can't see you can see on the level 3, we don't see any orders out there. Very difficult to make a trade because it trades within tenths of a penny. All right. So on the watch list, guys, we got the RIOT. We also got the MYOS. That one moved up really cool this morning. You can see here around 8 o'clock when we started, it was about $2. Right now it's at $2.60. Some of you remember the stock. We had that really big gap up right here just in the beginning of July. And it came right back down. But I tell you this all the time, when you're a student here at CyberTradingu University, one of the biggest things that when you do the coaching with us, and remember, we're not like your other schools out there that, oh, here's 1,000 hours of videos, and here, go worry about yourself. And hey, by the way, you like that we got 2,000-3,000 people in our room. Listen, we are very, very selective who's in the room, who's not in the room, because it's a lot of work to train you. And remember, my goal is not to train you, but to trade with you. And one of the biggest things we always look at is your journals. So we tell you, go back to your journals, look at the stock. I tell you this every damn time. You're going to trade the stock again, and especially these ones that like MYOS. See how you trade it and see what your notes on it. And if you don't have notes, hopefully that will teach you a lesson today to go do your note. All right? And for you guys on YouTube and Facebook Live that are watching, or your trial members, you're wondering what the hell you're talking about. Listen, if you don't do your homework, what happens in school? You fail. You don't do your journals and trading, guess what? You're going to lose your money. So you got to follow the rules, because you got to learn from your mistakes, which it's always better to learn from other people's mistakes. But listen, you got to know if it's a good stock, because if you remember that stock got a little volatile sometimes and had some nasty, nasty shakes. NETE is another one that's moving this morning. $17 stock. It spiked right around that 8:30 and it came right back down. Stock is very volatile. Look at the spread. Big spread, small tier sizes. You got a couple of decent iceberg orders here and there on the level 3. But remember, it's a little bit of a nasty stock, but it's been a great swing trade. All right. So you don't have to trade a lot of shares of it. Nikola, thank God I sold this stock. Okay. I tell you, yesterday I was trading it and I was doing well. And then it came back down on me. I was actually up, and then I ended up losing money on Nikola. And you know what? Thank God I got out of it, because obviously the earnings that came out yesterday was not that good on it. But it's not a pharmaceutical stock. It is moving up a little bit this morning. Just be careful. The stock is very, very volatile. It's very hard to day trade the stock. Very hard to day trade. So you guys got to take the money and run. Focus on the nickels and dimes on this one if you're going to trade it. Will's another one that's moving pretty decent this morning, up 25%, 2.6 million shares. You could trade several thousand shares of the stock. Obviously you could see, how it went from $1.30 to $1.55. You could trade 10,000 shares of the stock. Look at the tier sizes on the level 3. You obviously got orders out there. You can get in and out of it. So this one, even though you might say, it's not really moving too much. You know what? This stock did move. If you remember, we traded this back in June. This thing ran from $1 to almost $4 a share. So it does move. So go back to your journals and remind yourself of it. SRNE is another one that's been also not been a good day trade. It's been a good swing trade. It's not really doing too much in pre-market right here. It's kind of funneling between 14 and 14.80, but you could see it was an $8 stock. It's gapped up pretty nicely, breaking a new high. So that one I want to keep on the watch list. We spoke about MYOS, right? So MYOS is basically probably one of the better ones out of them all. I have it here on my level 4 right here. You could see there's some pretty significant buyers right here, right around 460 and at 252. You got some nice iceberg orders. It was having a tough time breaking. If I could bring this back, it was having a really tough time breaking this 230. Finally, it broke it, and you can see now the stock is starting to make a nice little push. So I kind of like this stock right here. I think this one so far in the morning, you guys have done the best in this one. But the stock does move. You could see it. It has its shakes. It's got its support levels. Make sure you buy at the right price. If you don't, you can get yourself in trouble, okay? Don't try to get too greedy and cocky because look at what happened at 840. It's basically trading within a very tight little range. You don't want to get caught up. Now, once again, look back on that chart. You could see at the beginning of July, that stock was pretty good, like we mentioned earlier. And I know one of you guys mentioned the Mavis. We'll look at that one like Leo just brought that up. So just remember, I'm going to repeat that again. It's a penny stock, a little difficult to trade. You can see how it went from 325 to 285. Now, there's a couple other good stocks I do want to bring up, which a lot of us are not going to trade it too much, but it's been really a good swing trade for a lot of you. I know some of you also traded it. Square did really well. Square's doing pretty well on that. NVAX, I was watching the CEO this morning. Obviously, their coronavirus stock is doing phenomenal. Look at this stock. It was $10 in April. Could you imagine at 200? This is probably, I would probably say, the best, one of the best movers out of all the Corona stocks. Next to Wayfair, I'd probably say. This is like a Wayfair stock. Yeah, this one was like, what, 20? Went to about 300. Just one stop. It's up. This thing was 220 just a couple of days ago. I obviously was in the wrong one. All right. Keep an eye on Wick. Wick is coming out with earnings after the close. I'm really excited about that. I want to see what's going to happen. I know this has been also been a really one of our really good swing trades also that we traded. So let's see. It just broke all-time highs, which is what we're looking for. When a stock breaks all-time highs, that's what it's all about. And last one that we did pretty well yesterday on was AMD. AMD was, had a really, really nice pop. You could see him in a nice little Fausto flag. Once the stock broke 57, you could see it's at 85. She's kind of holding flat right here. She did gap a little bit. But listen, AMD also, guys, very, very volatile. Very volatile. I was just talking to Josh yesterday about it, and we were trading it. We were making money. We gave a little bit back. You got to scalp this. Don't try to, if you want to swing trade it, you just got to close your eyes. Don't trade a lot of shares of it. But if you're going to day trade it, it's a great stock to day trade. Just don't go too heavy on it because this thing has dollar swings. And you know what a dollar swing on 1,000 shares is? $1,000. You can't afford to lose $1,000 for 5 days in a row. You shouldn't be trading 1,000 share lots. All right. Now, Jose says Kodak just popped. Bring it back up. Kodak. Yeah, Kodak popped right there. Once again, Kodak is another one too. Very tight float. We'll put it on the watch list. We saw what happened yesterday. This thing goes up. It comes back down. Don't trade too many shares of the stock because it will shake your ass right out. All right. Any other stocks I'm missing I did not call out, guys? Anybody on YouTube or Facebook or Grant says MYOS is worth watching. Resistance at 270 and then 275. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a big iceberg order that's sitting out there at that price. So you could see him right here. Let me bring him over. See those little lines right there? He's been out there, not too long, about 10 minutes. All right, so keep an eye on that. All right, guys. So all right, so that's pretty much the watch list. It's not as great as yesterday's was, but it is pretty decent. All right, but listen, once again, the Northeast got nailed, okay? Not because it was a hurricane. It was a tropical storm. A lot of people lost power. Coronavirus, really never thought about it would really hurt the power companies here in the Northeast, Jersey, New York City, Long Island, Connecticut. I mean, I don't know how much down south it is, but they got hammered. So over two-thirds of Long Island's out of power. Okay, I'm very fortunate to have it. So I'm very fortunate to be here, for you guys to be here. but we're very understaffed. So please be patient with us. I think a lot of things that happen with the stock market too is going to affect what's happening with, with the, not just the coronavirus, but the power companies. Because of the coronavirus, people work from home. So I don't think there's going to be too much craziness going around, but we'll see how things work out. How did I do in the storm, Jeff? Jeff, I was fine. A couple of broken branches, but around my town, I mean, certain areas, telephone poles are down, trees are down, but it wasn't even, like I said, I mean, 70-mile-an-hour winds is, I guess that's pretty substantial, but I mean, it's not like a hurricane. We get 110, 120-mile-an-hour winds. But I think the big thing was a lot of the power companies are not working, all working from home. And if they're out of power, who's calling them? So pretty crazy. They will have to bring a crew from dozen states to repair. Might be a challenging due to Corona. I know. You know what? It happened before. I remember that. I mean, obviously, you always bring crews from all over the place because of it. Yeah, you bring a very good point, Wayne. All right, guys. So listen, be safe. We're going to start. If you're logging into the Cyber Room, we'll be starting commentary at 9:35. Give the marker the first 5 minutes. If you are watching us here on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, and you want to join us today, I'm just going to bring this up really quick so you guys could see it. If you have not registered so far, I would be doing a presentation at 12 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to talk about how we use these level 3s, how we use level 4. If you haven't learned it yet, or maybe you heard it before, be able to ask some questions, how these things work, how does it affect my life? Is there a stock that, could you check out, Fausto, and what you see? If you want those answers, you got to come and join us live, not like these fake evergreen webinars these people do, which I think it's kind of rude. You know what I mean? We start in 30 minutes. How do you start in 30 minutes when you live in New York and you're in Australia and the guy's up? Well, we start in 30 minutes. So no, it's a live webinar. Don't miss it. And you know what? If you can't make it, then you could get the recording, but you got to register first. So don't miss it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Be safe, and we'll see you back here at 2:30. We'll be back at 12, and we will broadcast this live on YouTube, Facebook Live, and then we'll see you back here at 2:30 again. Good luck, everyone. Be safe.